90% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get punked, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia. AB skinheads with big giant swastikas. Pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in they Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters gon' move. Whatever click you choose, you better stick.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a pro violation. Yard down. Now, for those of y'all new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. During those times, I accumulated some good stories as well as some good insight on things related to prison, and I'm gonna share some with y'all today. If you happen to like this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and most importantly, hit that notification bell. That way, anytime I drop a story, you will be notified ASAP and you can hop on it whenever you're ready. Also, I'll be rapping. Yes, that's me on the intro. The name of that song, for everybody that's asking, is called Still Steppin'. No, the song is not out, but hopefully I'll have it released pretty soon. If you want to hear some of my music, go to my YouTube playlist, scroll down to gas stations, and you will find my music there. Also, I'm sending a shout out to the big homie, man, Big Marcellus. He done like 31, 32 years. Marcellus is from Compton. He been out a while. Matter of fact, he got out before me. I was there when he went to the board and got his date. So shout out to Big Marcellus, man. How you doing, man? You know I'm still trying to get you on here. We want your insight and your wisdom. So whenever you want to come on, you already know you're more than welcome, man. Now for everybody else, let's hop up into this video right here today. So of course you guys see the thumbnail, the title, and so let's get right into it, man. I think we all know the number one thing you cannot do while you're in prison is snitch. You know, no matter whatever the situation is, how you feel about it, man. If it's mind your business and keep quiet, you know. Now, people who have never been to prison may assume that prison is full of convicts and gangsters and this and that. And no, sometimes you have a lot of people in prison who were just regular people who happen to make a mistake. You know, they could have been driving home drunk. They could have been stealing from the job, got caught up. You know, they could have came home and found their wife in bed with the neighbor and just committed a crime of passion. So, you know, I say all that to say everyone is not a convict in prison. A convict, as opposed to an inmate, a convict is a person who is who subscribes wholeheartedly to the criminal element of life, the criminal lifestyle. You know, more than likely he's a felon in terms of he was already committing crimes. You know, he just didn't make a mistake and come to prison. And so, you know, you have, and then, like I said, you have inmates, dudes who may have just messed up and came to prison. It reminds me of this dude by the name of Sal I used to play tennis with, man, at a prison called CMC. Now, I was at CMC East and CMC West, but I believe CMC West, you can go past, you can be on the freeway and you can look onto the prison yard. You'd have dudes go stand at the gate sometimes, and they'd be looking at the freeway. I guess, you know, just a sense of freedom in their thoughts or whatever. But if your family happened to be on that freeway and they was coming to visit you, you could actually look and recognize their faces in the car. That's how close, you know, that's how close of a look you could get. And so Sal's, he had told me that he used to drive past the prison all the time. And he said, you know, the hell with them dudes, man. That's good that they're up in there. And then lo and behold, his ass ended up in here. So you never know what's going to happen, you know, but everybody doesn't subscribe to, you know, the criminal element and the convict way of thinking. And they may see something in prison and feel that they have to go talk about it to the administration. And that's definitely going to get you in trouble, man. Another thing you should never do in prison, and I know this kind of seems ironic, but you should never steal in prison. You know, even though you may have a lot of people in prison who have stolen and taken things from other in one way or another, whether it's property, even maybe someone may have stole somebody's life, man. But that is one thing that is extremely hated in prison, is a jailhouse thief. And this is universal in a lot of prisons, probably across the world. I know, especially in America. Now, it's a difference between stealing and taking something. Now, if you're walking with something in your hand, your store bag, and a dude come up to you and he just gangster you and take it right from you, that's between you and him. But as far as just maybe a dude goes down to the shower, go to use the phone, and you sneak into his cell and just steal his stuff, yeah, you definitely gonna be stabbed and have the brakes beat up off you. Something, that's something that's very, very frowned upon. Also, one thing you shouldn't do in prison, man, is try to impress people. Running your mouth, talking, trying to fit in, man. Just be you. You have dudes who, they think they're in prison, so they want to talk tough. They want to act hard, and you can best believe that you are eventually gonna have a chance to show who you are and prove who you are, especially if you running your mouth and talking tough. People, in prison, people are always watching and they're always listening, even when they may not appear to be watching and listening. I was a master at listening to people's conversations when I wasn't, when it didn't appear that I was, because, if I'm listening to a dude and he talking about, hey man, when I get into a fight, I'm not just to fight nobody. If I lose the fight, I would hear people say this from time to time. If I lose the fight, I'm going to come back and stab him. Okay, well, then it would be in my mind, then there ain't no sense in even fighting this dude. If me and him ever get into it, just stab him. Now, who knows, though? This dude may have just been talking for the effect of it, trying to impress the people around him. But now you've heard someone else hear you that's made a mental note of that, and they fist to come back and put that thing on you. So it's always best just to be who you are, man. Don't try to impress people. Don't go in there acting hard. Just be who you are, Another thing that you should never do in prison, especially, if you are trying to fit in with the gangbang culture, is claiming a hood that you're not from. California probably has about, I think, maybe 32, 31 male prisons, somewhere around there. And even before the cell phone era, even though they had 32 big, giant, massive prisons, it was still a small community. Claiming to be where you wasn't from was eventually going to catch up with you, because there's always going to be people from that specific area. And, you'd have some people who'd come up and bust you out, ask you to identify spots from, because you have a lot of gang hoods and territories that's extremely big. So it's not uncommon for members not to know other members from the same gang. But basically, if your math don't add up, if you don't have the right information, that's definitely going to get the brakes beat up off you. You definitely don't want to be claiming a hood that you're really not from. Another thing you shouldn't do in prison, a lot of times people spend a lot of time in prison. They love to gamble and pass the time. But if you do not have the money in your cell, you shouldn't be gambling. They call it gambling on your ass. You might be out there playing poker. You may have $50 worth of items in your cell. Now you've got to your $50 limit, but now you want to continue because you think that possibly you can get a good hand and you can win and this and that. Now you look up and you down $150, and the people that you're playing with, you may have told him, okay, yeah, when they do the next unlock, which means when they open the door, I'm going to go in and get this stuff. Now it's time for the unlock, and you have no stuff in your cell to go in and get. I know that gambling sometimes become very addicting to some people, but you should never gamble on your ass, because when that door unlocks, like I said, the dude is going, whoever won, they going to want their items. And they are going to be willing to do something extremely bad to you if you don't got that bread. Another thing, drug debts. You have a lot of people who like to participate in drugs, recreational drugs, marijuana, some of the more harder drugs you may find in prison as well. They got everything in there. Meth, heroin, pills, whatever you need, man, you can definitely find it in prison. And you have some people, man, who get into these drug debts and they can't pay. It reminds me of this dude, man, by the name of AZ. And initially I thought that he was from Arizona, but no, his name, he had some type of African name. And so they would just call him AZ because it had AZ in it and it was hard to pronounce. So we was at one prison, then we all moved to another prison, and he happened to go there. And he was notorious for getting beat up and stuff for going into drug debt. But the dude would never tell, he wouldn't roll up, but he would definitely run a drug debt up. And so when we moved from one prison down to North Kern, just so happened, he happened to be my next door neighbor. And I could hear him through the vent telling his cellmate, his bunkie, that he didn't mind taking an ass whooping behind the drug debt. He said as long as they didn't stab him, as long as they didn't stab him, he was cool. So you have dudes like that, man. And actually, the day or two before I left, the OVG car, which is the original Valley Gangsters, had beat him up real bad. He had ran up another drug debt with them. They had beat him up real bad, blacked his eyes, all types of stuff, that was about the third or fourth time I had heard of him getting beat up behind drugs, Of course, everybody knows this, I believe, as well, too. One thing you should never do in prison, man, is never, ever turn down a fade. Because like I said earlier, people are always looking. People are always watching, man. And once you turn down a fade, now you marked for victimization. You may have people trying to victimize you who are nowhere near as tough as you are, who probably might not be able to beat you. But sometimes, people play upon the fact that they may think you're weak. It's better to go and take a loss than to turn down a fade, because in prison, you have a lot of people, to be honest, who are not necessarily willing to fight. Nobody wants to get hurt, right? But when you refuse to fight, it, of course, gives the perception that you're weak, you're scary, and you have people in prison who may not be able to fight well themselves, but they still try to prey on people. They may realize they don't fight, or they can't fight, or, I've seen some people talk extremely tough, and I'm thinking, okay, oh yeah, man, and then this dude get into a fight and he couldn't fight a lick. I've seen that happen a lot of times. And so if you let a dude beat you if you let a dude whoop you with his mouth, you're never gonna be successful, especially in prison, man. So, never turn down a fade. And once I started fighting a lot, especially in the county jail, of course, you're always scared when you go in the cell. And then, me, I was always extremely small, especially back then, man. But once I started fighting a couple of times, what I realized? A lot of these dudes can't even fight. A lot of these dudes are just acting hard. They're saying the right thing, because they want to fit in. They're talking tough because people is always looking, and no one wants to be seen as a victim or a coward or what have you. But I ran across more people than not who could actually fight. It's the difference between a person who will fight and a person who can't fight. And, this especially goes for the California prisons, man. When you have a lot of things, you have so many people in gangs and stuff like this. I've seen this situation cause fights many a times, man. People not being aware of their surroundings and stuff, out on the yard telling war stories. You have to always be conscious of who may be around you. I seen a dude sitting on the wall. He was from one particular gang, and he was talking about riding and shooting at another gang, and he was using phrases that was disrespecting that gang. Unbeknownst to him, that a member of that gang was sitting within earshot. So the dude who's sitting within earshot, he told the dude, "Hey, yeah, man, I'm from that gang, and so I need that fade." So they went in the cell. Now the dude who was talking and dissing the other dude's gang, he beat the brakes off that dude. This dude was a fighting dude, man. Yeah, he definitely beat the brakes off the other dude that particular time. But I've seen that happen a whole lot, man. I've seen that happen so many times. Dudes talking and disrespecting other people's gangs or disrespecting people, not knowing that maybe them or one of their homeboys is within earshot. So you definitely have to always be aware of who, your surroundings. And, I would advise not even to do that, period, because one thing that I learned also in prison, man, is that you have a lot of guys that can't hold water. You might be talking in there, having what you think is a private conversation with your cellie, and he happens to be from another area, he may go to the yard and spread your business, you know, and the next thing you look up and you in a some type of confrontation or a physical altercation. So, you know, you definitely have to be aware of your surroundings, man. And when I say your surroundings, I'm talking about when you outside the cell and also when you inside the cell. You know, you have to develop a good rapport with an individual before you go to telling them certain type of stuff, you know, especially about the hood and the streets, because like I said, everybody's not going to keep that to themselves, man. And another thing you can't do, you know, and like I said again, everybody's always watching, you know, you cannot let a person verbally disrespect you. You know, you cannot let a person just get out of bounds and obnoxious with you, because once again, everybody's looking. If a dude is, you know, disrespecting you, yelling on you, screaming on you, what that is going to give everybody who's watching that looking, they're gonna all get the opinion that you soft, and they're gonna feel that they can talk to you like that in the event a certain situation arises. So, you know, you always have to man, check a person, you know, and if worse come to worse, you definitely have to fight for your respect in prison, because prison especially can be a cruel, uncaring, predatory type atmosphere, and dudes will prey on you, especially if they think you weak. You know, I have a theory, man, that people only mess with people that they think they can whoop. You know, now you have those few who really don't care, and they may go mess with the dude who's 6'5", you know, 275 pounds too. But for the most part, you have a lot of dudes looking for an easy victim, man. You have a lot of dudes looking for a person who they think they're gonna get an easy win for. So you definitely have to always fight for your respect if need be, man. You can't let a person just run over you in prison, because once it starts, it's not going to stop. You know, it's not going to stop. And it's sad to say, but in prison, most of the time, violence is going to be the thing that gets you respected. You know, you can sit up there and talk and sound as articulate and intellectual as you please, you know, but you have those certain individuals who don't respect nothing but violence, you know, and that's all they know. That's all they grew up on. And, you know, sometimes you have to bust their head for them to understand that you're not here to be played with. And so, you know, those are just some of the things that you should never do in prison, you know. Few other things I believe you shouldn't do also, man, was when you go on a visit, you know, when you go to the visiting room, you have other people there chilling with their family. You shouldn't spend a whole lot of time, man, glancing at other people's visitors, you know, especially if somebody's sister may have a nice looking sister, mama, girlfriend, or whoever. You should never do that. You know, that's definitely something that can lead to some trouble and have you in a situation, man. You know, and definitely I've seen a fight break out a time or two over this, you know, approaching someone's visitor without permission. You know, someone may be in there, like I said, with their sister, their cousin, whoever, you know, and you go over there and try to talk to them like you on the street. You know, that's something that's seen as extremely disrespectful, you know, and sometimes, you know, a person may not even say nothing to you. He may just come back to the yard and stab you. And that's another thing that's basically looked on as okay if you're the stabber. You know, the dude was out there, yeah, man, disrespecting, trying to talk to my sister or whatever, you know, without permission, you know. Yeah, so those are just some of the things that you shouldn't do while you're in prison. And so anyway, man, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.
Them crackers let me out the gate, now the pressure's on. We about to get this shit straight like a pressing cone. The wrong cat to get aggressive on. I bring the bitch up out of niggas while you think they got them dresses on. My reach long and that's the best type. To have some dirty white boys come and smoke you like a meth pipe. And leave your chest bright red like a fire truck. Kicking your mom's door at night, nigga, and tie her up. I'm wild as fuck and I'm respected by the new youth. I put this pistol in their ear like a Bluetooth. I blow their brains on their new coupe. And have red everywhere just like a function full of soup whoops. Tell your troops I deal with beef like a butcher. My 4-5 pump more guys than Ashton Kutcher. Line pusher, quick to bury your clown. Nigga, I stayed in the park like the merry-go-round. Get it?
The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. Oh, you niggas don't know my name. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. I'm out here doing my thing. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. I swerve in my own lane. bitch that can't need me.